Good evening, I'm Pinky Webb. Tonight we ask the questions, we tackle the issues, we clarify matters, and we get on point. Different groups are planning to file impeachment raps against Vice President Sara Duterte. Some lawmakers and civil society organizations say the investigations into the secret fund disbursements of the Office of the Vice President and Education Department under VP Duterte have established enough grounds to remove her from office. There were reports the first of these impeachment complaints were supposed to be filed yesterday, but a message from the president appeared to have stopped the complainants on their tracks. Now there are calls, including from the president himself, to set aside plans to impeach Vice President Duterte.
This is not important. This does not make any difference to even one single Filipino life. So why waste time on it? What will happen to if somebody files an impeachment? It will tie down the House, it will tie down the Senate, it will just take up all the time, and for what? For nothing. For nothing. None of this will help improve a single Filipino life. As far as I'm concerned, it's a storm in a teacup.
And let's get on point with good government and Quad Committee member Lanao 1st District Representative Zia Alonto Adiong joining us via Zoom, and later on, Bagong Alyansang Makabayan President Renato Reyes. Congressman, we'll start with you. Magandang gabi po sa inyo. Maraming salamat sa oras.
Magandang gabi, Pinky. Maraming salamat sa pag-imbita.
Congressman, the president has spoken no to impeachment. He says this will just tie down the House and the Senate. He even says it's a waste of time. Do you agree it's a waste of time?
Well, it only validates our previous sentiments before when we explained whenever we're caught with with questions pertaining to the supposed impeachment, that the House is, or according to the narratives of the OVP and some of her close associates, have been, been preparing by the leadership of the House. Sinasabi namin palagi na wala pong katotohanan doon. There's no official or formal talks when it comes to a possible filing of the impeachment complaint. Kasi the narrative that they're trying to drive at is that everything that is happening right now, everything that we see, is actually orchestrated by Malacanang. Now, it validates our previous pronouncement in our assertion that wala pong napag-uusapan na impeachment and Malacanang has nothing to do with this. Mm-hmm. Should there be any impeachment complaint? So I guess that is just a validation on number one. And number two, para sa akin, Pinky, it only speaks about the character of the president versus that of the vice president. You have now the president saying that let's put the interest of the country above personal interest. Basically, yun ang message niya. Like, despite the threats, the grave threats leveled against him, threatening his life, his wife, and the current Speaker of the House, the President came out saying, I don't think this will give us any benefit or any good because we would be spending so much time on a possible impeachment trial. Mm-hmm. So I guess we should put first the interests of the country. Now, on that note, I guess...
Congressman, but that's also what you're doing, supposedly, when asked about why these hearings are even proceeding or these investigations. Because you're supposed to be also looking at the people's money. Hindi ho ba, time and time again, sinasabi pera yan ng taong bayan. So, let me ask you, sir, right now, do you see anything wrong with the confidential funds of the Vice President?
Yes, of course, as far as the utilization is concerned, I guess there's so many questions that we would like to, and answers that we would like to be enlightened with, and so far as the utilization of the confidential funds for the OVP and the
DepEd.
And for the DepEd, right? Now, let me just go back to, I think the president just came out with his position, personal take on that, on the possible impeachment, proceedings. Sabi niya, it's a waste of time. But then again, there are also other members who are not necessarily associated with the majority bloc in the House of Representatives, like the Makabayan bloc, saying that, we will have our own time when it would be best for them to file the impeachment complaint. So I guess it's a matter of the House, some of the members exercising their independence and their right to file complaints against the Vice President through impeachment process, because they think that the utilization, as you have mentioned, was there anything wrong in the utilization? I guess yes, because some funds have been wasted as a result of the mismanagement of these funds. As a result of, as we go along with this hearing, we've seen some of the ERs that are questionable. In the first place, we've seen two names with the same spelling.
Kayo naglabas
na
nun, Congressman, di ba? I think that was you, yung Kokoy Villamin. Parehong
Yes,
pangalan,
and
ibang signature.
Exactly. Apart from the Mary Grace Piatos, there are names names that appears to be the same spelling, same first name, but different strokes of signatures. And there are also, as we go along with this investigation, because we've received, there are quite a number of ARs, 4,000 plus ARs na nasa atin and nasa komite, at pinag-aaralan ito. And then there are also names na pareho, different names, pero pareho ang signatures. So this is the opposite of the Kokoy Villamin. So maraming mga questionable na mga ARs, which I believe the committee wants to find out really what happened. And the question goes to the, supposed to be answered by the special disbursement officers, because they're the ones who really encash the checks, and then they are tasked to disburse these funds according to the joint circular and according to the programs which the Office of the Vice President and the Department of Education feels that partly a mandate of the OVP according to them, partly would be a way to utilize the confidential funds according to the joint circular, memorandum.
So Congressman, yun pong inyong nakikita, you said that there appears to be something wrong with the utilization of the confidential funds of the Office of the Vice President and the DepEd when she was the secretary there. Those issues or concerns or problems you're seeing, aren't those offenses that could be considered impeachable?
Well, if you ask me personally, my personal take is that after we've done with the committee hearing and once we file the committee report, I guess on a personal note, I think it's an impeachable offense. Kasi very clear naman po sa Constitution natin, na it's more the amount that involves the questionable amount of the confidential funds. We're talking of 125 million. And then there's also the 500 million for the OVP. That's more than 50 million, and that's already constitutes graft, which is basically very clear in the constitutional provision for an impeachment. So I would say that as we go along with this committee hearing, without even securing concrete answers from our resource persons, those who are responsible in the utilization of these funds, clearly, mayroon pong pagkakamali.
Okay.
There's a deliberate misuse of the funds, which constitutes personally impeachable.
Would it be right to say then, Congressman Adiong, that no to impeachment right now for you because nagpapatuloy pa po ang hearing, pero pagkatapos po ng hearing ay posibleng impeachable po?
My position on that, Pinky, depends on whether there will be an impeachment complaint filed in the coming days. Of course, we will have to see whether the complaints fit perfectly to the accusations and the allegations presented. Kasi gusto rin natin malaman kung what are the articles of impeachment that they will file. Whether they would also cover yung issue on betrayal of public trust, culpable violation. So let's see what's going to be the merits of the possible complaint, because I'm talking about the other members like the Makabayan Black. For months they have been harping about the possible filing of the complaint, no, of impeachment complaint.
Uh-huh.
Now, should there be any probable impeachment complaint that they have already drafted, then we will see what are the merits of the...
Pag-aaralan niyo po.
Yeah,
Pag-aaralan
yes.
niyo po. Congressman, meron pong ibang nagsasabi na pinapabayaan niyo lang naman yung mga Makabayan block na pangunahan nito eh. What do you say to that?
No, kasi because we are also respectful of our colleagues. We cannot dictate whether, it's based, they will play this out based on their timeline. And we simply respect each other's position on this. We respect the Makabayan bloc. And we respect whatever is the decision that they will come up with, whether they will file the impeachment complaint or not. So that is entirely up to them.
Okay.
We somehow extend courtesy to our members, no?
Congressman, just one topic I'd like to quickly discuss with you. Wanted to get your thoughts on, peace and order. You've been part of the struggle, I guess you could call it, for peace and order in Mindanao. Do you think that this standoff, this problem between the president and the vice president will somehow affect or shake the peace and order in Mindanao?
Well, I don't think so. Because number one, the AFP come out very strong in their statement, in their position that they will still maintain respect and uphold the rule of law and the chain of command. So whatever noises that we hear, despite the provocation by the former president was actually saying that there's something wrong with this in the way the government is now, or the administration is now handling the government is fractured, di ba sabi niya?
Fractured,
but despite
yes.
that, without even mentioning the word coup d'etat, the implication of that is really about invoking and provoking our military apparatus to go against the chain of command, which thankfully the AFP come out with a solid position that they will still maintain, uphold the constitution, and they will still maintain their respect to the chain of command. Now, as far as in Mindanao is concerned, we have already settled the issue on insurgents, and we have already actually on the way to hold the first BARM elections, which I guess MILF and the MNLF have joined and embraced the polity of national the mainstream Philippine society, which I believe these two moral fronts are active actors in the formulation, in the evolution and development of the peace process. So I don't see any reason why Mindanao should be a hotbed, should this issue, continue on for months.
Congressman Adiong, sir, maraming salamat po sa inyong oras.
Thank you very much, Pinky. Maraming salamat.
And we will continue our discussion on plans to impeach Vice President Sara Duterte with Bayan President Renato Reyes after the break. Stay tuned. This is On Point.
Beauty, health, adventure. This is for you. Join Marie Lozano where she uncovers the untold stories and unexpected surprises in the world of lifestyle.
Where fashion meets art, few events recently capture this synergy.
Let me tell you about the Lifestyle Lab.
The Lifestyle Lab on BNC, the Billionario News Channel.
In the world of business, expansion is inevitable.
So I was a serial dater.
Not just a serial entrepreneur.
Yes.
You need fresh perspectives.
Different perspectives, different capabilities.
The sense of fulfillment, the sense of accomplishment. It's like you gave birth.
The relationships we have, how we treat our people, for me, that is the essence.
I'm Ces Orenia Drilon at ito ang Usapang Bilyonaryo.
Good morning, everyone!
Let's begin your morning with these people that gives you the hottest information.
We're happy to share with you some magic that will make you smile, dance, and feel the love.
With excitement and fun to start your day.
It's a light of the morning with positivity, joy, and a sprinkle, a dash of fun.
Join Paulo Del Rosario, Ann Asis Carrillo, and Monique Tuzon.
Ready to start our day with a smile.
It's a beautiful day!
bawat anggulo ng bawat issue.
9 out of 10 Filipinos ang nais na mapanagot ang mga corrupt officials.
Bawat detalye ng mga napapanahong pangyayari.
September 23 nang simula ng Israel ang air attacks sa Lebanon.
Tuloy-tuloy na ihahati hanggang Sabado at Linggo. Weekend Agenda. Sabado at Linggo, 5:30 p.m. sa BNC, The Bilyonaryo News Channel.
Welcome back. You're watching On Point with us. Bagong Alyansang Makabayan President Renato Reyes. Nato, good to see you again. Welcome to the show.
Hello, welcome.
Thank you for your time. Ano ang inyong palagay sa naging statement ni Pangulong Marcos to no to impeachment? It will tie down the House and the Senate. It's a waste of time at basically wala itong maidudulot na maganda.
Well, there are two ways to look at the statement. Number one, maybe he doesn't have the backbone to see this fight through. Whatever happened dun sa papalag na ako, o biglang, hindi na. No? And of course, hindi naman totoong this is not important, walang mapakikinabangan ng mga Pilipino, this is a waste of time. My God, the Quadcom hearings go on until 1 a.m., di ba? Yung mga hearings sa Kongreso, people are intently viewing, listening to what's going on in the hearings. I don't think that's a waste of time. It's important because removing corrupt public officials is in the interest of the people. Bakit naman gugustuhin ng tao na manatili yung mga corrupt sa gobyerno? Parang hindi naman tama yun. So, questionable talaga yun. Kung ganun ang stand niya, despite everything that has happened, despite all the investigations, despite all the death threats, despite all the drama that happened in the House, and still you will say, uy, wag na lang tayo mag-impeachment. So that's one way of looking at it. Another way is, baka drama lang nila yon.
Bakit drama? How?
Baka gusto nilang palabasin na, uy, wala kaming kinalaman dyan, or
hands
hindi,
off.
Hugas kamay sila, hindi sa amin manggagaling yan, we're not involved. So, I don't know kung ano yung alin doon ang totoo.
Anong palagay mo doon ng
hindi ko masabi,
mas mabigat?
Hindi ko masabi, pero our decision to file an impeachment complaint is not dependent on the opinions and preferences of the President. Ano man ang kanyang opinion, it does not affect our decision, our resolve to pursue the impeachment complaint.
And when are you filing? And who is filing? Well, sino ho ba? Para we have a better understanding.
There are a lot of groups who are interested, no? Of course, you have teachers, you have students, workers, the people who are going through the crisis and they see the corruption happening in government, sila yung nasusuya na sa nangyayari. As to when, we will announce kung kailan. When we are ready, we will announce. Bago tayo dun
sa when, pero ano na, sino sa inyo ang talagang magfa-file? Nasa kaninong mga pangalan?
Hindi pa namin nilalabas yung mga pangalan. Pero of course, the organizations have spoken. Bayan, Gabriela, KMU, all these organizations have taken a stand in favor of the impeachment.
So lahat yan definitely magkasama na yan. Okay.
Other anti-corruption advocates, no, mga educators, academics, probably church people.
Any other groups that may ring a bell?
Tignan na lang natin, mahirap pang pangunahan eh. Pero definitely, hindi lang kami yan, hindi lang yung mga the usual activists yung mga makikita nyo.
Okay, doon tayo sa when. Kasi nga, may balita kahapon, meron daw dapat magfa-file kahapon. Kayo ba dapat yun?
Hindi kami yun.
Hindi
rin kami aware kung sino yung dapat magpa-file kahapon. Basta naman po sa amin, when we are ready, we will announce. No? So we are not giving out dates at this time.
Okay.
We're not really setting out a timeline at this point. Basta pag ready na kami, we will announce. No? I mean, malalaman naman ng publiko yan eh.
Nasang stage na ba kayo?
Nasa pagbubuo ng complaint. No? Kasi yung impeachment, syempre, bagamat political na exercise ito, kailangan may tutuntungan din yan na legal basis. No? So what we've seen in the hearings, it's the misuse of the confidential funds, the failure to properly account for the more than 600 million pesos in confidential funds from 2022 to 2023. Tapos yung attempt to cover up the investigation, no? Cover up the misuse and preventing Congress from doing its job.
How is the cover up? Alin po dito?
Well, syempre, no? Isang napakalinaw dyan, the Office of the Vice President wrote to the COA, diba, asking them not to follow the subpoena of the House and not to give the House the documents. So, may talagang ibang klase rin yung ganong galawan. So, titignan natin yun, no? Maaring betrayal of public trust, maaring graft and corruption. Those are the two grounds for impeachment that the lawyers are studying right now. And pag nabuo na po, no? And we're going through all the documents from the from the good government hearings, no? Umaabot ng 800 pages ang transcript, no? Sa kada hearing. It's like, can just imagine kung gaano kahirap aralin lahat 'yon. Pero hopefully nga mabuo at ipe-present dun sa mga iba't ibang groups and sectors, those who want to join.
How do you get a transcript of that, of the proceedings?
Public na naman yun, public records yun. So you can
naman.
simply request from the committee.
So far I think they've had 12, Quadcom pala yung 12. Yung sa good government, I'm actually not sure nakailan na po yung sa good government. No? What were the most, siguro, yung pinaka nagulat kayo o sabi mo malakas na ebidensya to para sa impeachment?
Well, yung umpisa pa lang, no? The Office of the Vice President, this 2022 budget, they didn't have confidential funds. No, that's the Robredo budget pa yun eh. So it was very surprising that at the end of the year, they would get 125 million in confidential funds.
So ito po,
Diba?
for context, yung December
2022.
2022. Ito po yung sinasabing nagastos yung 125 million in 11 days, which in fact they were saying is 7 working days.
7 working days. Yeah, kasi may holidays pa yun eh. Pa-New Year na yun, Christmas and New Year. Tinitignan pa lang namin yung news reports. Sabi namin, there's really no way you can utilize 125 million in 11 days at the end of the year kung saan holiday na. And then you will look at their reports. They're saying, oh, we spent 14 million pesos for safe houses in a span of 11 days. Mind-boggling yung amount na yun eh, di ba? What kind of project or program are you running that you have to spend 14 million pesos for safe houses in a span of 11 days? There's really no way to justify that. And we've seen a lot of the output of the hearings pointing to very spurious, questionable accomplishment reports for programs that they had no involvement in. They just got reports from some youth leadership seminars, tapos inattach nila yon from the AFP. Then they attach that this is our accomplishment. Then you have yung questionable acknowledgement receipts, the names, the signatures, no? So the Mary Grace Piatos is now synonymous to corruption. Di ba? So, ang dami na eh. What is the logical conclusion? We asked the committee, di ba? Sa lahat ng lumabas na ito, what do you think is the logical conclusion? Saan to patungo? Kung hindi ba dapat sa impeachment? Di ba?
Pero kung yun po ang inyong logical conclusion, it doesn't seem that that is their logical conclusion.
Well, I hope that...
because they're saying it's not part of their agenda.
Maybe it's not part of their agenda, but hearing Congressman Zia kanina, I appreciate the fact that he has an open mind. No? He's keeping an open mind. He wants to see the complaint. He wants to evaluate the evidence. And I hope there will be more congresspersons who will keep an open mind. Hindi naman sana sila magsara at the onset.
Naniniwala ho ba kayo na hindi talaga parte ng agenda yon ng House?
Well, that's for the House to really explain, di ba, at this point.
Kayo
Pero
po, do you
sa
believe
tingin
it?
namin, with all these investigations, the level of preparation that they're doing, every time na merong mga pagdinig, yung data na nilalabas nila, I think yun na yun. And that speaks for itself. Yun, saan pa nila dadalhin yan? Hindi na namin maisip kung saan pa nila pwedeng dalhin yan.
And further is supposed to be the next hearing because hindi po natuloy yung hearing ngayong araw ng good government because to give way to the subpoena
NBI.
issued by the NBI, to which the Vice President didn't show up because she said she got the news late.
That's very strange na she was supposed to attend the hearing, so nag-giveaway na nga yung committee. Hindi, sige, wala nang hearing, attend ka na ng NBI, and still she didn't show up. So parang talagang no, ang default setting nila, umiwas sa mga ganyang klase ng appearances or engagements. So hindi talaga obra.
So I guess what we need to find out, I forgot to ask Congressman Adiong, kailan kaya matutuloy, magre-resume yung susunod na hearing ng good government. We're gonna talk about this and more after the break. You're watching On Point.
We are giving spotlight with this innovative business enterprises that shares growth in our community. we're giving these entrepreneurs a chance to boost their business in the market.
We hope that we inspired you to embrace your passions and strive for your dreams.
Let's join Mai Rodriguez together with different entrepreneurs to know their stories and challenges. Pathways to Success, 11 a.m. on BNC, the Billionario News Channel.
This is The Scorecard, where you score the latest sports news and in-depth views. I'm Anton Rojas.
Get ready, be prepared, get to the latest stories, updates, and reports about what's happening in the world of sports. Hosted by Anton Rojas.
The Scorecard, where sports is our business and business is our sport, right here.
The Scorecard on BNC, the Billionario News Channel.
Welcome back. I'm Pinky Webb. You're still watching On Point, still with us. Renato Reyes of Bayan. So, ang sabi po natin kanina before we went on a break was that dapat magkakaroon ho sana ng pagpunta si Vice President Sara Duterte sa NBI because of the subpoena that was issued. Because the House Good Government canceled the hearing today. Do you think it was done last minute? Kasi alas 5 na ho ata o alas 4 kahapon. Hence, the Vice President said she didn't really hear or know about the cancellation.
Well, again, the Vice President said that she will not be attending the NBI subpoena because there's a House hearing.
Right.
So, if it has been announced, and it was like 5 p.m. when it was announced that the hearing has been canceled, I think that's still reasonable time for her to plan her schedule the following day and simply attend the NBI subpoena, hearing, investigation. Pero lumalabas parang hindi yata talaga siya inclined na pumunta doon. No? So, nung wala ng hearing, the reason that was given by the lawyers of the Vice President was that she had something to attend to at her office. So talagang mukhang wala talaga siyang balak na pumunta dun sa NBI, whether may hearing o wala.
What do you think, maybe because the next investigation, or it has been rescheduled to December 11, the investigation by the NBI, ano po, do you think that a lot can happen between now and December 11?
Yeah, I think the situation is fluid. A lot of things can still happen. There will be probably many more midnight press conferences that can happen. Kawawa naman yung mga nagko-cover ng media. Marami pa talaga eh. No? So, tignan natin. No? We're looking at congressional investigations. We're looking at criminal investigations. We're looking at different protest actions. And then you have probably counter charges. The Vice President has announced that she plans to file counter charges against the police. So, magsasalpukan pa yan eh. I don't think it's headed towards de-escalation.
You know, you actually said that there have been press conferences. Hindi naman po, well, yung midnight or early hours was just the weekend. Pero since then, nagtuloy-tuloy ho talaga yung mga press conference. So much has happened actually since Friday night to Saturday morning. Ano po. And when you do a rundown of what's actually happened no, in terms of yung mga reklamo or complaints, meron po yung NBI, nag-issue ng subpoena kay Vice President Sara Duterte. The PNP,
the QCPD filed a complaint.
Filed a complaint kay VP Sara and her security. And then there's a disbarment case filed by
Gadon.
Attorney
Larry Gadon.
Disbarred lawyer, no? At si Larry Gadon, Presidential Advisor on Poverty Alleviation. And then you also have the NBI possibly also investigating statements made by the father, former President Rodrigo Duterte. Ang dami ho, sabi nga ng iba, sometimes mahirap na po to catch up sa dami ng mga pangyayari. But here's the thing, sir. The House Quadcom, magpapatuloy po yan. Any idea, number one, kung kailan matutuloy yung na-cancel na hearing ngayong araw? And what are your expectations pag mag-resume?
Wala pa kaming nababalitaan on when the next good government hearing will happen. But the previous hearing was very educational for us. Kasi lumalabas doon, that was the first time that the staff at least the 4 staff of the OVP attended the hearing, and you can hear them say na everyone's saying we have nothing to do with the utilization. We're just people who withdraw the money. We just encash the check. We take the money and give it to someone else, to a member of the security team. No? So ang dami ng questions kaagad doon. How come these people, the special disbursing officers, the deputy COS, the COS, are all saying they're clueless as to how the money is being spent. And they're just...
It appears that way.
It appears that way, di ba?
Actually, it doesn't appear. It is that way because that's what they were saying.
That's what they're saying. Pero anong mangyayari doon? It would mean that it is only the Vice President and her security people who are knowledgeable. So ang bagsak lahat niyan, parang nilalaglag nila yung principal nila eh. Sinasabi nila, wala kaming kinalaman dyan, anumang problema or anumang misuse.
But paano kung yun ang utos talaga ni Vice Presidente? In fact, the Vice President was saying before that, bakit nila kina-question ang aking management style?
It's a very unorthodox, strange management style na people don't know what's going on in their own office. People don't know who's spending what, who's withdrawing what, and where the money is being stored, how the money is being used. I think lahat yan palusot na lang. At some point, they want to insulate the Vice President, but also protect these staff members by pointing to a member of the military as the one utilizing or implementing the projects. Baka ang tingin nila, since this is a military guy, he can always invoke national security, so we can't go deeper than that.
Or sa executive session, baka sakaling pumunta yun sa isang executive session. And it basically will fall doon po kay Colonel La Chica and Colonel Nolasco, if I'm not mistaken. There were 2 security officials, I believe, that were mentioned. So we're going to have to see what will happen in the next hearing when that will actually resume. In the meantime, Nato, thank you so much for being here. And happy weekend to you.
Salamat.
Salamat.
Nagabi.
And that's On Point. Join us again next week at 7:30 p.m. here on BNC, the Billionario News Channel. I'm Pinky Webb. Thank you for watching.